What if resurrection isn't something you have to wait until you're dead to experience? What if resurrection is something you can practice every single day? Thousands of years before Christianity, the ancient Egyptians looked towards the rising sun and saw a symbol of continual renewal. They called him Capri. Capri was represented by the scarab, and his name is connected to the Egyptian idea of Kapur, to become, to come into being, to transform. Every evening the sun disappeared. Every morning it returned, not as yesterday's sunset, but as today's sunrise. Come again. Now listen to another ancient word we've talked about before, metanoia. It's usually translated into English as repentance, but its basic sense is a change of mind, a turning, a transformation in the way you understand and live. And that's important because you can always change your mind. You're allowed to discover that something you believed 10 years ago isn't true for you anymore. You're allowed to realize that the person you were yesterday isn't the person you want to be today. You're allowed to say, I was wrong. You're allowed to say, I've learned. You're allowed to say, I'm changing direction. That's metanoia. And maybe that's one way we can understand resurrection as a spiritual metaphor. Jesus says in John 12:24, unless a grain of wheat falls onto the earth, it dies. It remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. Something old dies, something new emerges. Nature does this constantly. Seeds break open, trees lose their leaves, the moon disappears into darkness and returns. And every morning the sun rises again. The Egyptians looked at that rising sun and saw Capri, becoming. Jesus looked at a seed falling onto the earth and spoke about life emerging through death. And the Greek language gives us metanoia, change your mind, turn around, become different. Different cultures, different symbols, different teachings, but there is a beautiful thread running through them. You don't have to remain who you were. Maybe there's an old belief that needs to die. Maybe there's resentment you've carried too long enough. Maybe there's an identity somebody else gave you that you've outgrown. Maybe yesterday you missed the mark. Fine, today is another sunrise. Change your mind. Change your direction. Roll away your own stone. Step out of whatever tomb you've been living in. The scarab pushes the sun towards another dawn. The seed breaks open beneath the dawn, beneath the earth. And you open your eyes every morning with another opportunity to become. Kelper, become. Metanoia, change your mind. Resurrection, rise again. You can change your mind anytime you want. You can resurrect yourself every day if you want. The question is, do you have the will?